And here we go. This is the weekly plan of every week. It has a detailed description of what we're gonna express on the online session, which is the last part of our book, and we already discussed this part and we ended all the parts of the book. What is the homework? Page 27 and 28. This is the link of our online video that we will see it on this session. And this is the part 4 of my promotion project. What is this part? You are start of making codes of half of the objects inside your form. For example, if you have 12 objects, half of those objects are 6. You have to make codes for those 6 objects. How to make a presentation for this part? You will take a screenshot or copy paste from your code inside the PowerPoint. You will take a copy from your codes inside the PowerPoint, and this is on one slide. And on the other slide, you have to write that I have made for object number 1. This is the plus operation. We make a codes to make addition. The second one is subtraction operation. We make a codes to make subtraction, and so on. Fine. We will go to start by describing
مس انا ما
and
سمعتش
seeing
صوتك.
this video.
مس your voice was lagging.
This is a main video,
Miss
or
Noura.
complete video. This is a complete video of how to create codes for a calculator. Please concentrate in each part, and you have the link of this video inside your weekly plan on Scholera and on the group.
And once again go to the division button and paste there. Okay.
This is a complete for the previous one.
And once again go to the division button and paste there. Okay. So whenever I press any button for this plus, minus, or multiplication, division, this will, or we also are going to catch the button action, and we will just take this like this here, and we want to store this button operation in some variable. So we go at the top of our class and we will
At first, we will discuss the previous part of the video. He started making the codes of the plus button. He put here, at first you have to put double click, double click, yes, double click on whatever option or whatever icon you want to make the codes of it. For example, the plus. He make double click on this button, and this is open. He started this part to clear the whole part of my text box. He started with if the text box result dot text equals 0. He will start if the text is clear, and if it's not clear, he will clear this one. And then he put button button equals button sender. What's meant of this line? This line means he will take an input from the user. From this text box, the text box result the text inside the text box equal the text box plus button dot text. He will take the data inside this button, the data inside this button plus the button, the number you press of whatever button, like 3 plus 1. If you press on 1, he will take this option 1. If you press on 2, he will take number 2, and so on.
declare two variables. One will be the double, and which will contain our result value. So it will be double, and I will say this will be our result value, and I will initialize it with 0. And second will be the string, which will contain our operation. So operator or operation performed. So
I'm sorry, we will go back to the previous video to see it from the beginning to stop this confusion.
select a button text as, for example,
This is the part of making and codes for the plus icon.
but and here you can press this or just press enter, and you will reach to this button click event of this button, right? And here you can write, or you can print the text on the text box. For example, you want to print the text on this text box. Take the name of this text box, which is text box result dot text is equal to whatever is this text plus is a concatenation operator, so you can do like this because we are adding 1. And if you see here, by default this text box has 0, so I'm going to change this. Just select your text box and go to text, and we write 0 here, so it shows 0, but this 0 is on the left hand side and this text box is on the right hand side. So just select this and go to the property called text align. By default it's left, just make it right, so this 0 will go to the right. Okay, now when I run the program and when I click 1, you see 1 is printed here. But the same functionality, I want to do it for all the numbers and including this point. So what I can do is I have two options. I can just double click all the buttons and I perform this functionality to each button. And the second option is I can perform same operation or same button click event for all these numbers, and basically capture the text of these button whenever I press any button.
This is mainly a part for making inputting each number of each button. As when you press on 1 on the calculator, it have to display number 1. For making this, you have to press on whatever button, for example, number 1. It will make you go to the code part. For example, in this video, this is the code page. Right here, text box underscore result dot text equals text box underscore result dot text plus 1. As here, he wants to add number 1 or display number 1 in the text box. This is have to be done on every button of the numbers. You have to add 1 in number 1 and have you add 2 in number 2 and so on. Fine. This is the first part of the code.
And go to the property called text align, and we write 1. And if you see here, by default this text box has 0, so I'm going to change this. Just select your text box and go to text, and we write 0 here, so it shows 0, but this 0
here he changed the text of this button to make it as the default calculator As you see 0 if you didn't press on any number on any button.
0 is on the left hand side and this text box is on the right hand side. So just select this and go to the property called align. By default it's left. Just
Miss, I can't hear anything, yeah, Miss.
make it right. So this 0 will go to the right. Okay. Now when I run the program and when I click 1, you see 1 is printed here. But the same functionality, I want to do it for all the numbers and including this point. So what I can do is I have two options. I can just double click all the buttons and I perform this functionality to each button. And the second option is I can perform same operation or same button click event for all these numbers and basically capture the text of these button whenever I press any button. So how can I do this? I will go to just this button click event. I will select this button 1 and go to this click event by going to this events and click event and copy this method which I have provided, which is button click. Just copy this method or this event, whatever you want to say it, and just go to all the numbers. What I will start from 0. Just select this 0 text box and go to the event, click in this property and paste your same event button click here. Okay, same I will do it for this point, same I will do it for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Okay, and once again go to your code, and now this button click event will be performed when any of the number button is clicked. But how to catch that event, or how to take the text from the button click and transfer it to this text box, it's really simple. This object contains the sender of this button click. Just take this sender, so just go to button click event and in here write button and we name our object as button is equal to, and we will cast this object to the button. So just write sender and this we will cast it to button. Okay, and now once we have this button, we can just change this static text to the button text. Okay, now
This is mainly a part he changed it to make the result of each point in each object of the objects. As if he press 1, he will if he press 1 in the button number 1, he will take this number 1 from the sender, from the user, as he press in on number 1, and then he will take this text box, the number inside the text box, and add this button. You press on it as number 1. For example, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4 and I want to add number 5, add a place number 5. When I press on number 5 on this button, which is called 5, he will take this 5 and add it to the number inside the text box.
when we run the program and when we click anything, 1, 2, 3, 4, or
as you see here, he made this code to make this. If you press on 0, the 0 will be displayed. If you press on 1, the 1 will be displayed. 2, the 2 will be displayed here, and so on. This is the main target of this part.
any number or point, it will be printed like this. One more thing you can do here is whenever I click any button here, the 0 goes and this number comes, right? or by default it's 0, but whenever I click any number, it goes 0 goes and 6 comes. But in our condition, when I click this 3, 0 is there and it doesn't go, right? So it doesn't make any difference, but I want to, achieve the same functionality. So what I can say is here, if my text box text, which is text box result text, is equal to, this is equal to 0, then I want to clear the text box. Okay, dot clear.
So as you see here, this if part, he make it to clear any 0 inside the text box if there is no numbers inside this text box, as he will check at first the text box dot underscore result dot text equals 0. If the text box only contains number 0, he will clear this 0 before pressing any number inside this box. This is mainly a trick to be like the ordinary calculator.
Okay, so this will clear this 0 whenever I click some number. Now I want to achieve the same operation, or I want to achieve the plus, minus, and this multiplication and division for the operation to perform. So what I can do is, like I have done for the number of buttons, I can make a single method for all these operations. So what I can do is I can select my first plus operator, go to this click event of this operator, and I will say operator click event underscore click, and just double click it or press enter, and we reach to the operator click event. Same operator click event we will make for minus, multiplication, and division. Just copy this operator, go to the minus button, paste there, go to the multiplication button and paste there in the click event, and once again go to the division button and paste there. Okay,
This is mainly a part to describe that this buttons is for making operators. As the previous one, he will go only to display this text inside this button. When you press on one, it will only display number 1. It will not make an option. Sorry, it will not make a task. It only will display this number. But if you press on plus, on minus, or multiply, or division, will make an operation. So he will go here at the click, as the event is clicking. What is the function it must be done when you make this event, which is click? It's an operation. It's an operator to be done.
so whenever I press any button for this plus, minus, or multiplication, division, this will, or we also are going to catch the button action, and we will just take this like this here, and we want to store this button operation in some variable. So we go at the top.
Then he copied the same line of code of button equal button sender to take an option, to take an input from the user.
Of our class.
And this is the second video.
This will, or we also are going to catch the button action, and we will just take this like this here, and we want to store this button operation in some variable. So we go at the top of our class, and we will declare two variables. One will be the double, and which will contain our result value. So it will be double, and I will say this will be our result value, and I will initialize it with 0. And second will be the string, which will contain our operation. So operator or operation performed. So operation performed. And by default, I will initialize it as lang. Okay. And we are going to need one more variable, which we will see later. But yeah, now once we have this operation performed variable, we can just take this operation performed variable and we can say this operation performed is button.text, right?
We will stop at this part as we are running of time. We have here the half of the numbers or the buttons inside your text inside your program is from 1 to 9. You have to make codes from of the buttons from 1 to 9. This is your part of your promotion project this week.